Hello guys and welcome to the ESL One Mumbai 2019 Indian Qualifiers. We are watching the ROG Titans duke it out against Signify to see who can be the first finalist of these Indian Qualifiers. Watching these amazing matches, we have managed to watch Signify take the first game of the series and be only one step from being able to call themselves the real victors and the finalists of these qualifiers. Only one step away from that potential victory. Your casters for today, covering this amazing match, will be myself, the Swordfish, and joining me will be Wingblade Dota. How are you doing, Wingblade?
I'm glad to be here. Last match was pretty decent, aside from the fact that the drafts were not exactly balanced, so I hope this game will get a more even draft, and as a result, a more exciting game.
Yeah, hopefully we do. We have also changed servers, so I'm excited to see if there's less disconnections this time. And increase your volume as well. Sorry. Can you speak now, Wingblade, please?
Is it okay now?
Yeah, there it is. I can hear your beautiful voice resounding in my ears. That's exactly what I want. And we look at the draft. For some reason, the admins forgot to put a ticket. Probably an issue with the coordinator. And that led to this. So we are not having the official names of the team or the players of the teams. But it is Signify versus ROG Titans. Apologies for these lack of descriptions. What are the drafts looking like for now? Tusk just profit this time for Signify. What do you think? Tusk hasn't been picked very often, but it's being picked a lot. Like just in this best of 3. You said he was a consistent pick, but I don't know.
It feels like sometimes there are better options, but it is kind of strong with Nature's Prophet, because all of the treants get the slow as well as the bonus damage. So just having a Tusk Prophet dual lane would be really strong, and we also see the Nyx. This is a hero that's been coming up a lot recently, because he has some pretty good matchups in this patch. Also, he got some reasonable buffs, which is nice too.
We've seen recently, can you actually, I finally get to talk to a pro player about this. Have you noticed that now for Nyxes, they actually scale, so they get 2 points in Impale and 3 points in Spike Carpus?
Yeah, it's really nice just for the setup, because like it's just so nice, especially when enemy heroes have like AoE abilities. You can reliably get out the Spike Carapace. And the thing about Carapace too is that the cooldown scales really nicely, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it does, So they pick it for that because you'd rather have the more reliable stun in the Spike Carapace, because it does scale better in terms of stun and cooldown than, I guess, more damage from the Impale. Like
the Impale is always 14 seconds cooldown, but the Carapace goes from 25 seconds to 10.
Yeah.
And the duration scales really well too. So overall, if you can reliably proc it, it's just more stun, which is exactly what you want from a support.
Very good point. So Nyx Assassin, Tusk, and Nature's Prophet, it's a pretty hard lane to be fighting against. Especially the Tusk Nyx actually is quite strong. You set up the Impale super easily with the Ice Shard. And the Snowball as well can also set up for that. As the game progresses, they actually become really formidable combo, because it's very difficult to kill these 2 supports or anything around them, which is what the whole point of them is. And they're going for a very early game lineup now. What I'm seeing some Signify. Nature's Prophet in off lane to put a bit of push, but also dominate the lane. Razor, a classic lane dominator. If he's laning up against Sven, it's going to be the easiest lane of his life. And of course, the Nyx Assassin and the Tusk.
I love this Razor pick, especially in fourth pick, because not only does it have amazing matchups in the mid lane, if they pick a counter for Razor mid, they can just put him safe lane against this Sven, and they're gonna be fine regardless. So this pick has just so much flexibility. You need to pick a hero that's good against Razor and also preemptively good against the final pick coming from the die right here. It's just so flexible. Razor works really well in a lot of lanes, and since the other side lane is already secured with the Nature's Prophet, just gives so much flexibility. And I think ROG Titans has to be scratching their head right now.
What do you think they should pick here? Now you see a Razor. Like, what are the options?
Usually against Razor, I really like Quop or a Batrider, but both of those heroes get kind of wrecked by Nyx. So that's the beauty of it. Like, the normal good picks against Razor are like countered by the Nyx. So we see the Darks here, which means that it's gonna be a carry Sven.
Wow.
Which I don't really think is that great against Razor. It's gonna do decently in lane against Prophet Tusk, but Signify can just swap the lanes and try to get the Razor against the Sven, which will completely destroy his game.
Yeah, putting the Sven like, up against when you have a Razor and even a Nature's Prophet to some degree on the enemy side, even a Nyx Assassin, they're all pretty decent against a Sven core.
And Spirit Breaker Oracle together is not going to kill Razor most likely. Like Daxia Spirit Breaker could try to make something happen. Like if they get the lanes they want, they can do some stuff, and in the mid game you have the Surge to get rid of the static link, but it's a really difficult position to be in.
Yep. Especially because Razor, if he does see a lot of difficulty, if he does lane against Spirit Breaker Darkseer and he sees a lot of difficulty with Surge, there's always the option of going for a Plasma Field build, which is still a thing, and just getting that nuke damage out. Even Darkseer and Spirit Breaker struggle against that.
I don't think you ever really want to max Plasma Field. I feel like Static Field is the skill to max if you can't get a good drain, because it really helps with your farming speed, which is something Razor usually struggles with. The field is nice, but it also costs a lot of mana, which you don't really have, so you would rather have the passive.
That's a fair point. It's true, we have seen a lot of pros that do opt for that. They don't have the best lane in the world. Going for the 2 points of static link, which is usually what you get, and then start maxing the passive. We'll see. We'll see what the last picks are for ROG and for... Last pick is this time for Signify, so you're already winning the lanes, and getting the last pick mid is crucial here. Because there's no way ROG can win that line matchup. Like, whatever they pick, it's going to get countered here. So, it is completely to the benefit of Signify to counter every single lane. And then you win. Maybe a consistent pick like DK or something like that might help them out.
I doubt it, because DK just loses very high to Razor.
It's true, yeah. What's a consistent pick against this? Like, what's a hero that doesn't lose the lane generally?
It's hard to say. Like, the one hero that I can think of that does decently against Razor is Corp, but Corp isn't too great against Nyx, but I feel like you don't really have that much of a choice. You could try to go for some like hero that can stay in lane, maybe something like Lycan, but
Lycan against Razor
he also loses.
Yeah.
I think you just have to take your losses. You're gonna lose the lane probably, so try to find something mid-game that's gonna work for you. Yeah, that's probably the best idea. You still have the Vacuum plus Stormhammer combo, which is quite okay. You have a nice, decent team fight. I just don't think that the enemy team has bad team fight either, you know? Razor is a pretty strong mid-game hero. It's not unwinnable for ROG Titans, but it's... upscale battle. Tiny. Okay. I mean, they can now run the Razor mid and destroy the Tiny. This is just another case of them picking too many melee heroes and relying completely on snowballing. Like, if this Tiny doesn't get a lot of pickoffs, he's gonna be useless and he's just gonna be meat for the Razor. So, I'm not a huge fan of this pick. Now, they have two, like, heavy right-click cleave melees. They're just gonna get kited, I feel. And it's not easy for Tiny to get pickoffs too, like maybe the Prophet or the Nyx, but even those can get kind of tanky with items. If you really want to crush them completely, you could even run Nature's Prophet offensive trial with Tusk and Nyx, because they would destroy the Sven, Spirit Break or Sven Oracle, and then run in Doom down bottom. If they do harass the Doom, it's okay, you have a lot of healing. You get to stop the Darkseer and you get to eat his creeps most of the time. Yeah, true. It's also really good against melee heroes. I'm just suggesting it because at this point, like, Signify could really just settle this game. PA? Yeah, okay. It's okay. I mean, any pick here would have been okay because you already won the draft, right? But... yeah, but PA is not my favorite pick. I'm probably gonna lane it against Daxia Spirit Breaker, and PA has a tendency to really struggle with that. So I'm not sure if Jug was still in the pool, but I would prefer to see a hero that does well against Daxia. I would have loved to see a Lifestealer too. There is 4 like really tanky heroes on ROG Titans, and he does extremely well in lane against Daxia. Maybe part of the reason why they don't pull the Lifestealer is you're afraid of the Sven counter. I don't think Sven is a counter to Lifestealer at all. Really? Not anymore. Oh, okay. If you just eat him as a Lifestealer. He's gonna be up to like 4000 HP, and every single hit is gonna give you back like 100 HP.
Yeah, but 2 crits and you kill him. That's the whole point of Sven. Carry, ideally.
Yeah, if he gets a lot of farm, but look at this Dire lineup. You really think he's gonna have the space to farm up 2 or 3 items? That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, no, you're right, you're right. You didn't even give me time to tell you you're right. Yeah, God.
I was just saying.
Treating me like an idiot from the start. But you're right, you're right. I mean, that's why this fight is not picked up right now, right? You have the nerfs to the jungle, now the nerfs to the Ancients as well. The stacks is just not a viable strategy for him anymore. And he's not that strong of a laner either. He's okay. At least as a carry, right? So, why pick this Sven carry? I don't know. I don't know.
It's decent against Furion, and I guess they just really wanted the Spirit Breaker to go with the Daxia. I don't know.
I would have liked the Sven offlane. I think if you had run the Sven offlane, sacrifice him a bit against the Razor, you know, it's gonna happen. Whatever, no big deal. And then force like a better carry that can actually even the matchups here, as opposed to the Darks here. I think it would have been nicer.
It's just they put themselves in a really tough position. Like the moment that Razor came out, their lanes were so messed up.
I mean, you have so many melee heroes against a Razor. Like, it's just... Don't draft as many melees, you know? You open yourself up to this.
And there is a Daxia, which helps a little bit with the melee problem.
Yeah, but you need level 20, essentially. Because the Surge is okay in the beginning, but then it falls off in the mid-game. And then once you get the AoE Surge, it's like, okay, melees are no longer a problem, right? But
yeah,
you're level 20 Darkseer. Like, it's, you've already made it that far, you know? And clearly something's wrong in the game.
I mean, the lanes are not too bad. Tiny does decently against Razor, Sven Oracle is gonna do decently against Tusk, and Spirit Breaker, Daxia is probably going to win against PA Nyx.
I'm not a big fan of this PA pick. I think it could have been much better. Really could have secured the lane with a Lifestealer, or gone for a Juggernaut like you mentioned. Go the South American route, go for the Doom, absolutely win the lane. I would have been okay with that.
It's even a pretty good anti-mage game. There is pretty much only magic damage until Sven comes online, which is gonna take a long time.
And a couple of spells that you can return quite easily with Counterspell.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Hell, you can return Nether Strike with Counterspell, which is fantastic. So, I don't know. It's definitely a difficult game for ROG, so maybe they were just giving them a bit of leeway. That could have also been it. We'll see. The mid lane here is also quite important because it really does depend on how well this Razor can do against a Tiny. If you can just snowball out of control, you get level 10 early. Level 10 on Razor is ridiculous. 15 agility is absurd for a talent. And Razor already does so well in the early game. And then from then on, you can really snowball. You can even go for an Aghanim's build on this Razor if you want to really take towers early.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I don't think he will do it though.
No, me neither.
It's 4,000 gold and it doesn't do that much in fights.
No, it's one of those items that, like, if you're gonna win, like, this is the scariness of the Razor, right? Like, if you're winning by a lot, you have the option of just sentencing the match to the Nags. Like, going for, say, Sanjay Yasha early and then going for Nags, and then boom. You know, they can't really, you have nothing. They have nothing to do against you.
I would only recommend it if you lack any other kind of pushing, because if you just have a Furion who can hit towers, or a PA that can build a Deso, I don't think you should use that amount of gold just to have it work on towers.
It does deal. I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of damage to towers, though. Like, as a close, we've seen it as a closing item sometimes in games, rather than as an early item, as it used to be.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, if you can get a Refresher and an Aghanims and the level 20 talent,
Yeah.
then it gets ridiculous. But I've seen a lot of Razors just skip the Aghanims too and just get a straight Refresher, because they care more about actually winning the fights than being able to clean up after the fights.
That's a very good point. Also, the Refresher is less reliant on that level 20 talent. And 10 armor is pretty good talent too. So you feel kind of sad when you have to take away the 10 armor. Especially if you're up against a physical damage lineup.
So far it looks like Razor is having a decent time.
He's not doing that much better though. Like, they're pretty even.
Tiny finding a DD really helps too. Without a DD, you would have had a lot less damage right now.
Razor's also playing like a bit safely right now, just to try to get... Oh wait, Nixus in the top lane might die. Spike Carpus used a bit. Too late on that. Oh, nice impale. Nice impale. And they even considered the TP there. Instead, they're going to get a kill on the bottom lane. Maybe a second kill as well. First kill onto Saitama. One Punch Man is done. And Evil Ash is also done. All these references, man. Meanwhile, Hunter, the next target. He is going to surge away. Nyx is already dead. Blizzard wants to get the kill. Stifling Dagger. They need one more Phantom Strike. Hunter finds no creeps. Like, how do I deny myself? I can't. But he's still far away from the surge. Nyx comes back in. Avenging his own death. That's the best way to do it. Spikecarp is very nice using that Iron Shell, but they missed Impale. The TPs won't complete. Hunter will find a stack and try to deny himself. He'll finish it off. Negi can't get to him in time. Instead, it's going to be the PA who's suffering a lot against A35. But nice Phantom Strike gets her away.
Very nicely played by both sides. It's like a ballet in Dota.
It is, yeah. A very well executed Dota always reminds me of like if you watch like professional dancers, you know, it seems like they're so coordinated, just the dancing around. It's very beautiful. Like Virtus Pro in general just always reminds me of that for some reason, like a Russian ballet.
I would love to see VP players try to do ballet.
Like the actual players do literal ballet?
Yes.
I would love to see that, yeah. I mean, if Ramses can be in an Esquire magazine, I think we can watch no one in a 2-2. I think it's fair. We'll see. This game for now, the bottom lane is pretty much where the pressure is coming from in terms of Signify. This Tusk with a tag team with the trees is absurd. Look at those trees go! And the tag team is just way too powerful. He sells the magic stick. He's taunting him. Good. Saitama fell for the bait, but he does get the kill. And okay, if you bait, ensure that you can actually get the kill out of it. In the top lane, they find A35, but a little more.
I mean, Saitama is just doing this for fun, you know. This War of the Ancients.
What? Oh, right, the actual, okay, sorry. One Punch Man reference. I thought you meant the actual player. I'm like, oh, do you know that Saitama was just doing this for fun? Is like a stand-in? Okay, gonna catch him out. Warcry is up, so they can't kill him. It's pretty cool that Saitama, the guy called Saitama, is playing Sven specifically, right? The guy who's known for the crit. And it'd be better if he was playing Konka, though. I would like him more.
Well, Tusk, where he has an actual punch.
Yeah? Or Treant Protector and go for Echo Saber. Yeah, exactly.
But then he's 2-punch, man.
It's true. It's true.
Come on, man.
Kind of ruins it. Yeah, you're right. I'll leave, man. You can hypecast this match.
Right, so on mid, the matchup is still fairly even. I think it's slightly Razor favored, but it's like 55-45 in my opinion. Because Tiny does have the trees, so every like half a minute he's gonna get pretty much 5 guaranteed denies by last hits. Also, it's kind of hard to drain a Tiny, because if Razor ever comes too close, you just toss him away.
Yeah, that's very true. I do like his build though. I think this. I mean, we're talking about this in the pre-game, right? You can go for the stable current build, and that just guarantees you some farm. Especially now, that's very common to farm these two camps here.
I do like seeing at least 1 point in Q though. Like, the damage is 160 and 25% slow if you get the maximum distance, which is nothing to scoff at for a level 1 spell.
No. And the slow is super useful, actually. That slow makes Razor much more relevant. But to be fair, if you're not expecting early engagements, you can just max that unstable current first, get the farming out, and then start getting points into your plasma field.
Sure, but it's for the same reason that I don't really like not skilling Thunder on Terrorblade. Sure, you can expect not to have any early engagements, but the extra efficiency that you get is kind of negligible compared to being able to turn around a gank or get an extra kill.
Yeah. That is a good point. I think here the efficiency is trying to just get the full efficiency from the unstable current first. And same reason why you would go for Midas, right?
That he has a plasma field now.
Yeah, he does. Hunter can go down. Exactly what we're saying. I get the value point once you get the call points, the static link, unstable current. You don't need it for the lane. Fair enough. Honestly, I think you can skip Eye of the Storm early on and get a level 10 or so.
No.
No?
I will never do that, people.
Why?
It's such a good spell for farming. It's
for farming?
Extremely good for that purpose. It has a short cooldown.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have it up almost 50% of the time, and it's like almost as much damage as your right click. So it's basically like farming with the DD.
Oh wow, okay. I genuinely just thought that his other spells were better, but fair enough, man.
I've seen a lot of Razors skip it, and it makes me cringe every single time. Because it's such a good spell.
Yeah, lots of pro players skip it as well. Like I'm not, you know, this is not my opinion. It's just, it's very common to see like going for, especially if you're going for the Plaza Field static link build.
Oh, beautiful dodge by the Tusk.
Yeah, and the Tusk now is in trouble though, but they divide the team fight really well. Tiny actually going for the Nyx. I think that was a mistake there. Tusk now only having to fight against 2. Tiny is actually running away from 3. The Razor's joining in. There's a Spur Breaker charge. Yeah, hits the Razor, but it takes a bit too long to break that link, which means they have a lot of damage now. Spur Breaker in trouble. They got nice Fate Seek, but even better block by the Treants. Gets the kill against the Spirit Breaker. And yeah, like you were saying, he starts to get stacks with that that Eye of the Storm to farm up, taking advantage of the low cooldown.
I think this is pretty much like the points he has now are pretty much the perfect Razor build. I don't really like the phase boots that much though. I feel like they're just so weak for ranged hero. I much prefer to see power threats. Or even quick BOTs. Meanwhile, Tolp, Anta could be in trouble.
Yeah, find the Darkstreak. Can they kill him off? Okay, the Spurberry comes in and it hits Blizzard. Blizzard just Phantom Strikes away, ignores him completely. A35 controlled the wrong hero there. Blizzard has way too much mobility for you to actually stop him with a charge. Okay, I'm gonna make you even louder. I just found. Change volume.
Alright, so Sven kind of struggling right now, trying to find the jungle. He has 2 points in cleave, but he's still quite far away from even his Mask of Madness at 9 minutes, which is not a position you want to find yourself in, because Sven is good against Razor as a carry, if he can manage to burst Razor. If Razor manages to get off the link and create some distance, Sven is gonna be useless. It's like a very delicate balance. If Razor is ahead, Razor is good against Sven, and the other way around.
There's some items that help you, you know, create this balance though. Like if you get a Hurricane Pike, for example, on Razor, it allows you to kite a bit easier.
I doubt you want to get a Pike. I think you would rather have a Yules.
No, he's gonna go for the Hooded Defiance build, full utility first. And I agree, Yule's actually been very popular on Razor these days, very useful. Saitama going to the shrine, he's dead though. Yeah, he has to run away from the shrine and they'll find him anyway. Tiny comes in with a haste rune, just can't do much.
The purpose of the Hood of Defiance is to not get bursted by the Tiny. However, I feel like if he went power threats, he wouldn't have that problem. And he could just try to get like a Yules or maybe a Yasha or something like that.
I mean, for 1800 gold, I guess you're right, but it is pretty useful regardless at any point. They have a fair amount of magical damage like you were mentioning, that's why the Antimage is good. Like you're stopping the Iron Shell, you're stopping the Oracle from like last hitting you, for example.
Yeah, I don't mind the build too much. I think Hood is very good this game. I'm just looking at other options he could have.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate for the Razor because, you know, I'm just trying to defend Swifty here. He's going for more points in Plasma Field. Actually, it is a very common build you see nowadays where you actually start maxing Plasma Field over Static Link if you don't think you're going to fight too much early. Or if you're already winning by a lot, so you can just maximize farm. A35 won't die here. Yeah.
He's not expecting to get a long drain because of the Darks, yeah.
Yeah. Even though the Surge is very different now, right? Because of the speed bonus.
Yeah, it's 45%. It's still gonna be hard to keep up. Which is why I also would have liked to see a Yules, because you just cancel the Surge.
Yeah, Yules is really good. Just cancel this fan as a whole, right? Oh, Negi. No, these one away hit! Oh, that was almost denied. Negi's satisfied.
To go for the CCNC play where he kills the range creeps, kills Vendetta and runs away.
If only that would have actually happened. Did he have enough actually for the range creep? I'm not sure. I know the range creep. It looks like it. I'm not.
He needed like 2 or 3 hits on it, so it was probably not gonna work.
No, he already did a really good job. I think Nyx for tower, you know, falling as opposed to denied is amazing.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah. And Nyx as well can play a very sacrificial role. We've seen Nyx, remember how he's played position 4 before, and now people just don't think Nyx needs items at all. He's just a very useful hero on its own, especially with a new little buff he got on Vendetta.
Yeah, he has Break, 2 stuns, and free vision. Sounds good.
Yeah. Exactly. It is really fantastic. And even though Spike Carp is not technically a stun, like it's such an easy stun to pull off. It's just most of the time. It's a fantastic escape spell as well. I mean, I remember the days when they used to tell you like Blink Dagger is a must on a Nyx, and now it's like if you can get boots, it's nice.
Yeah, and maybe a bracer if you're feeling particularly frisky.
Exactly. Bracer is your payday essentially. To be fair though, I don't love getting a lot of farm on the Tusk. I don't think, and like once you get Earn, May Spirit Vessel, then Blink, that's kind of the limit as to what you can do. I've seen some Tusk try to go for like the Desolator build in the very late game, but back when he was like OP.
I really love seeing Core Tusk just because he has like a 600 damage punch at level 6.
Yeah, it's a literal one punch man. Yeah, it's amazing. But ever since the nerfs, people have started trying that less. I remember I think it was Pasha who tried to offlane Tusk and won with that, particularly playing with like a Solar Crest and Desolator build, and just ridiculous amount of damage he would put out.
When you're playing Tusk and you snowball on someone, you're like, hey team, you see the support? Me neither.
Exactly. It's pretty satisfying. In this game, though, the supports are quite tank. Oh, I guess Oracle isn't. I have
Oracle is certainly punchable.
Yeah, Oracle is certainly very punchable. He has that face as well. Like he knows all. He knows your future, whatever. Okay, sure, Oracle.
It's like someone claims they can see the future and you just slap them in the face and you're like, haha, didn't see that coming, did you?
Yeah, it's like that thing when you ever played that game when you were like a kid and you tell them like, if your hand's bigger than your head, turns out you have a disease, and they're like, oh really? That equivalent of seeing the future. Yeah.
We had very different youths, I think.
My youth was full of bullying. I thought I was a real Dota player. You're a fake Dota player if you didn't really get bullied when you were a kid, okay? Get on my level. Yeah. Alright, they're gonna...
Now you're bullying me for not being bullied.
Oh, welcome. You're a real Dota player now. Wingblade Dota. You're part of one of us. Alright, Dusk is actually going for a double bracer build. I'm not really entirely sure what the purpose of this is. You can definitely get more useful items than double bracer.
I don't think so. I think double bracer is very strong on position fours, especially Spirit and Tusk. We see a fight happening, but I'll explain why afterwards. Yeah,
Hunter's dead, so it's not really a fight as much as a pick-off. You were saying?
So, I really like it, because as a Tusk or an Earth Spirit, your purpose in life, and specifically this game, is just to roll in, create some chaos, and then try to soak up as much damage as possible. Like, you use your skills, and when your skills are on cooldown, your job is done. So at that point, you don't really care about having movement speed, the blink dagger, stuff like that. You just need to be tanky. You want to soak as many spells and as much time as you can possibly, like, drag out of the enemy team. And Bracer is probably the most cost-efficient tankiness item, especially for strength heroes.
I see your point. Like, I understand that. In certain position 4s, fair enough, but if you're the position 4, I can actually guarantee a Spirit Vessel relatively early. I don't know, I see the input of a Spirit Vessel to be quite, just a bit higher than utility. Oh, was it?
It's quite a different price range though. Meanwhile, we see
it is,
PA actually going down.
That's why I mentioned, like, when I saw Mr. Crownley with 2,000 gold saved up and you're going for double bracer, like, my questioning is not double bracer is bad, it's more like, if you're going to build double bracer, you start building it, you know? You don't leave the gold and immediately buy the 2 bracers.
Yeah, that's a very good point. He has gold for the Spirit Vessel and 25 gold, so he should be looking to purchase it ASAP. Yeah,
they're gonna charge him, snowball, makes it out. Even ice shards for good measure so they can't fall him, but another strike does find him. He does get some space for the MP to get away.
No!
He tried his best.
Ouch. If they microed the Korea a bit better, he could have had it right now. Like, it flew past the secret shop.
You mean the orange? Oh, yeah. Oh, Nyx guy's the enemy courier, so that's enough gold for him to get the Spirit Vessel. Next to the rescue.
Yeah, Nyx has that same potential that Bounty has of just sniping couriers. Of course, it's a bit harder for him to just re-stealth and run away, but it's still an option.
Yeah, I've seen Nyx though, at least now in pro games, I found him to be played as a very, very extremely sacrificial support, you know? Whereas Bounty, you kind of try to keep him alive, and then when they have dust, it's like, whatever. The Nyx is like, if Nyx dies, he'll come back in no time. He doesn't need many levels either, at least how he's played now. Mana burn is not taken advantage of as much, because you don't get that many mids like Quapaline and stuff. So you really
It's
just
kind
want to
of
max Impale and
the
Spike.
same as what I mentioned for the position 4s. When you play position 5 Nyx, you want to run in, get some vision, use both of your stuns, and then tank stuff.
Yep, essentially. And Nyx is a great hero to tank stuff, because you question always when you're attacking Nyx, like, I want to kill him early, because it's an easy kill, obviously. Actually, not the easiest kill, because you have a lot of regen and armor, but, you know, it's a relatively easy kill, he's a support. But if I hit him, is the Spike Carpus gonna come out? Is he gonna get a Ravage with the Spike Carpus, because we're all idiots? You know, it happens, you can't just burst him down. And Tusk actually does something similar with the Snowball, right? It's the idea that, okay, should we all attack the Tusk and burst him down? Nope, it has Snowball. Well, what do I do now?
Sven is very, very deep.
Yeah, this is a very... Well, there's nobody around him, though.
That they were eager to try to go for him, but his cores were like, too far away, sorry.
Yeah, I've noticed there's also something that we see more for qualifier teams, which is they will do these risky plays, which sometimes are amazing, and we know, like, this play wasn't risky because we had the vision, but the Sven had no clue, right? He just ran in completely blind.
Yep.
And that's something a lot of people don't really get. When you're casting, man, you have much more understanding and vision and knowledge than the players do, so they make mistakes that are obviously not mistakes to them because they don't have the information we do.
Yeah, and you can look very smart by saying like, oh, they're totally ganking right now, but you can actually see it. You don't need to have any map awareness, you just
exactly
look on your screen and see all the vision.
Oh, they're gonna go for the Darkseer first. That was really nice ice shards, by the way. Unfortunately, the Tusk has been left alone. The PA can't really fight just yet. The A35 goes in. Swifty went for the BKB early. And now find the tiny Nether Strike. Hit the Razor. Stop him for now. Good. They're going to kill off the Nature's Prophet in the backlands. Nature's Prophet's gone. And Sven still wanted to fight this quite fast thanks to the Surge. And make sure nobody can kite him. Swifty cannot withstand this damage. Whew, look at Sven go. The Mask of Madness Surge even finishing off Negi in the backlands. A35 the next target. They all gonna kill him off, but at the expense of what? Your PA? That's not really good. Fate's Edict actually stopped him completely. Now the Toss plus Avalanche comes in, and Blizzard's gone. Mr. Crownley realizing his heart is broken. He has no teammates, no friends. He's gonna die completely alone, without any cats. And that's gonna be a team wipe made by ROG. Not completely just in quick succession, killing all these heroes. Very good divide in the team fight, and extremely good use of the Surge there.
The PA spends so much time chasing this Tiny. And Tiny is another one of those heroes where you just want to use your spells and then tank up and soak damage. And that's exactly what he did. So he kept like 3 heroes occupied while his team cleaned up.
Yep.
Also, I want to point out that I am not a big fan of this Razor build. Like we mentioned,
I was about to comment it.
Now he bought a BKB instantly after, and both of those items kind of have the same purpose. So now you have a Razor that's insanely defensive and can't really farm or kill people. So yeah, it's nice that you don't get bursted by magic damage, but you're still susceptible to physical damage, and you're extremely slow, so you're really tanky. But what are you gonna do with that tankiness? Just taunt people?
Does he have a taunt? Does he like jump with a rope? I think, you know? Yeah.
Gaben, are you listening?
you need a taunt for Razor. I mean, you're totally right. Actually, I was about to comment this. Like, you could have gone. I don't think the BKB build is bad without the hood. Like, if you had knock on the hood, exactly. Straight BKB is fantastic. This game. There's a lot of disables. You get rid of it. You could have gone for a Yasha instead. Either of these items substitute for a Yasha, and you would have done much more of that last team fight.
Yeah, like a Yasha or a Yules even.
Yeah, Yules if you're going for the hood, for example, as well. You got a lot of utility because you can potentially go into a Pipe Razor, maybe Shivas, and be like a real tank.
So now we mentioned how Sven is really good against Razor, and he is like a full 3000 gold ahead, and it's only going to accelerate. Once he gets an MKB or a crit, he's gonna be able to almost kill the Razor in one stun.
The beauty of this as well is that the Razor's build doesn't really translate against an anti-Sven build. Like you said, the lack of movement speed, the tankiness is mainly against magical damage, so Sven just eats him up, and the Surge is fantastic to ensure this happens. You can't really kite this Sven easily.
And it's also worth keeping in mind that PA is not a hero that skills very well against Sven, because Sven is going to empower his entire team with physical damage reduction, which means that PA is not going to be able to kill any of Sven's team really, because the shield is gonna hit like numbers like 500 or 600, which is gonna make even the squishiest hero tanky. And at the same time, Sven is building to get an MKB, which means that aside from empowering his team, he's actually going to be able to manfight the PA without any trouble at all.
The beauty of a PA usually in team fights is the ability to burst any enemy hero immediately, right? And then fight a 4 versus 5 where you have the advantage. If you can't do that burst, then what are you as a hero, right? That's like one of your main traits in the team fight.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's a very good point. That Sven does kind of stop you. I mean, we already discussed in the draft. I don't think the PA was the ideal pick. I think there were much better picks here for Blizzard. Okay, Crownly in the bottom lane. Yeah, I don't know. He's playing. He's having his own game. They're charging him, so they know that they can kill him. Yeah, and Crownly will go down. They even throw the catapult onto him. Cardi the catapult really deserved that kill.
That is easily one of the most BM ways to die in Dota, being chased down by an iron shell catapult.
Yeah.
It's like, you know that video of the guy who gets murdered with a spoon? It's
no,
like
I've never seen that. What?
It's like a 7-minute video of a guy being chased down by a guy with a spoon who keeps slapping him.
Gee, that's ridiculous. Also, Blizzard's dead in the top lane. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Being chased by a catapult iron shell. And what was it? I think it was the ESL Qualifiers? Or was it I watching maybe a Chinese tournament? I just saw, like, I remember watching recently a double kill with a Darkseer putting Iron Shell on the enemy catapult, and since you can't really tell that it's there, they were really low on HP, and they just kind of stood by it, and they realized, oh, I'm dead, and then one hero died, the other one's like, oh no, the catapult has the Iron Shell! Oh, he does afterwards as well, and you're like, oh, wow, that is so unfortunate. It's not really fair either, because it's just, the Iron Shell animation is just it's very hard to tell on a catapult, so, yeah.
When you look in the mirror and you're like, why are you like this?
Exactly. You go back, you talk to your teams, like, guys, I think I need to kick myself out. Like, I just died to a catapult Iron Shell. On my catapult! Bye-bye. Well, we're gonna see the guys from ROG taking a bit more of a stance now. I think the Sven is working out for these guys. We doubted this in the early game, but it actually worked out much better than we expected. The lanes were not so in favor of Signify either. Double damage.
One thing we have to mention though is that Prophet is having a really good game, and if this goes really late, the Sprout is going to completely wreck the Sven.
That's true.
We remember Sprout easy.
Yeah.
And it could happen again because he doesn't have a Quelling Blade and there is no 4 assist yet on his team.
To the point that this Sven might have to consider getting a Battle Fury late, just to be able to counter that Sprout.
Yep. Or what's it called? Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, that's also an item. I mean, you can get 4 steps in your team as well, which is definitely something you should have anyway. But being able to destroy that tree by yourself is quite useful, especially if you want to go ham on the enemy team. For now, I'm trying to put some pressure. They haven't been able to take the racks just yet, but Signify is a bit against the ropes. This Razor now going for the Atos, so it's kind of a tanky utility Razor, seems like.
He has the Atos, which I think is decent. Especially because the Sven doesn't have a BKB yet, so it can really shut him down.
Okay, Cronley evades that hit, and they're gonna go for fall. Can they kill him in time? He does have Fate Seek plus the False Promise. Now this Tusk is immediately dead. As they try to fight this off, they get the Atos off onto the Sven. They stop him down, but the Surge is way too powerful. And here's where I think, why build an Atos when you could have built a Yule Scepter? Like...
Yeah.
The purpose it serves is better.
That was a really hard fight to take. So
no, for sure.
They only lost the Tusk. And at the same time, the Prophet is already bot lane, pushing it out, which is exactly what he needs to do. I would even like to see him go for something like a Necro or a Meteor Hammer to really amplify that split push. Because I don't feel like fighting is going to be a viable approach anytime soon.
No, you're totally right. I mean, the teamfight potential is completely enemy team. You're fighting against a Sven. It has to be a split pushing approach, evading team fights of it, right? Taking advantage of your Nature's Prophet, like you mentioned.
And even the PA, she has the blur, so she's very good at pushing out side lanes.
With the Battle Fury as well, right? So, like, you know, she has the pushing power for sure.
And normally, Spirit Breaker is very good against split push, but PA can do it literally without any risk of Spirit Breaker.
And Nature's Prophet to some degree as well. Like, if you actually calculate it enough and having a good enough map sense, you know, a couple wards put there, and you're usually able to TP out before he does anything to you. So
it is a bit risky for Prophet though.
For sure,
so
yeah, for sure.
I don't really mind him going for this build. Meanwhile, Razor just got bursted, like we said, 1 stun, and down he goes.
He was out of position there though, out of his base without any vision around it, and now Saitama just takes full control in any base. They also catch a Blizzard in a really bad position as well. And I mean...
And he had a BKB, but it doesn't matter because he also dies in 1 stun.
Yeah. I will say though, why are you guys there? Like, I think they got a bit cocky thinking we're not losing by that much. Sven is a force to be reckoned with. He has MKB now, which means the PA dies super easily. The towers are starting to fall, but goodbye racks, goodbye range racks. They can fall. They can not take the bottom racks because the tier 2 is still up, but it's only a matter of time.
This Sven is really paying dividends, and now he's getting a BKB soon too, so the Atos is not gonna matter, the Nyx is not gonna do anything to him. So he's basically gonna have free reign in fights. Or even freer than right now.
Yeah, the BKB is gonna be the last power spike that he needs really to finish up this game, honestly. They're just gonna look for the tier 2 now. They lost the Aegis here. Well, no, they didn't lose it, but it expired. But it doesn't really matter. You aren't gonna die anyway. The Bloodthorn is finally finished up on the Nature's Prophet. This might help. Lower cooldown silence is not bad. Like 15-second silence is quite impressive.
It's also like the Sprout cooldown. You can perma Sprout someone with the cooldown reduction.
Oh, it's true. He's very close to getting 25%. And obviously, when you say someone, you mean Sven, because that's the concern you have here. Yeah.
He's still 4 levels away though, so it's gonna last a little while.
Yeah, it's still quite a while. I mean, they're still looking for that, I guess, power spike. I just say, I mean, I don't want to really. I'm not a big fan of bashing. I just think this Razor is just not. Swifty has not had the best time with this guy. I think his build is not the ideal one. I think he could have played this better. And the early game, I know Tiny and Razor are not that bad of a matchup for Tiny. Like, Razor shouldn't beat you, but he abandoned that lane quite quickly, you know, and went to farm the jungle. And you left Tiny you allowed him to actually have an impact in the mid game.
I feel like that's like whatever. He needed to get some ganks and some jungle farm. You can't really stay on that Tiny lane forever.
That's true.
Because Tiny is just gonna get whatever he wants and then move into the jungle as well. So I feel like it's mostly itemization, but also just we see the effect of the PA pick crippling them. Like it allowed Daxia to have a good game, and it created space for the enemy supports to rotate, and it always is a ripple effect. Like one wrong pick can destroy an entire draft.
Yeah,
if they get this pick off, it's really nice though.
That's fantastic. Good use of the Bloodthorn as well. Now the Rod of Atos again. Yosta would have been better, but okay. They only had a Yost to dispel that surge. It's not too late to get the Yols, honestly, as opposed to the Atos. In they go. Did they just dust? I think they did. Yeah, they caught the Oracle. Oracle forced to use False Promise. They can still kill him in time, I think. They got a silence off. Ghost Scepter, not too concerning, because they'll finish him off now. He still got dealt a fair amount of damage. Another dust committed. Evil Ash might have died here, but he lost a lot of time for the enemy team.
Yeah. He spent like 12 seconds running around and 3 coils were chasing him. Meanwhile Sven was farming, so yep, he finished his BKB.
Now this is scary. What do you do against this? Like, how do you actually stop him here? He even went for the lifesteal as well to get a bit more sustain.
Need to keep kiting somehow.
Yeah, with a surge, good luck, you know.
This is no chances, time to shine.
Yeah. You're right.
You can also just like try to completely ignore him, burst the Oracle, deal with the Tiny, and then if the Razor gets a full drain on the Sven, he's still gonna be able to steal 288 damage, which is not all of Sven's damage, but still like half of it.
Okay, no chance to the top lane. It's another potential counter kill against Fail. Good job, man. No chance is really coming out and shining here. He got ganked twice, similarly by Tiny, and Tiny's learning his lesson. Don't gank this Nature's Prophet.
Just imagine once he gets BKB and Nullifier.
He's going for Soul Caress and BKB instead. I think a Soul Caress is actually a pretty good pickup here to prevent some of the Sven's damage in general.
I don't mind it, but I would prefer the Nullifier because it gives a viable way to kill the Sven if he's out of position. Right now he just BKB TPs and you can stop him, or he just BKBs and murders your team, which is also an option. But if you have a Nullifier, it like dispels the surge, it makes him not be able to BKB. It's just a very good support item. Support as in like assistance for your team.
Yeah,
not an actual support.
No, I understand what you. I think people understand that. Like when you support. Yeah. Otherwise,
don't rush nullifiers on position 5 Crystal Maidens. Thank you.
No, obviously, you have to wait till you get the 250 attack speed talent. Then you get the nullifier. That's how you would play Crystal Maiden position 5.
Exactly. The only true way to play Crystal Maiden position 5 is Brown Boots into Midas. Remember this, kids.
And then Maelstrom straight up after the Midas to amplify your farm further.
It's when you buy Midas, and once you have it, you can buy words for basically free, which is awesome.
Actually, you joke about that and you say sarcastically, but some people genuinely think that's correct thought process, you know. In fact, for a while it was the correct thought process, right? Remember the Chinese Crystal Maiden with minus level 18 or minute 18?
I mean, I wasn't being sarcastic. That's how I play position 5.
Jesus Christ, this is disgusting. I forgot I was playing to a disgusting core player here. If I don't have farm, I can't play.
Yeah, I could go help my team, but creeps.
That's thought process of most Dota players here. I think BKB very close for Nature's Prophet. No chance. Oh, he's going for Nullifier. Wow. Wingblade. Stop whispering into his ear. This is
Well, I once did, but then he deleted me on Steam, so
well, now we know.
It still stings, you know. I don't want to praise him too much.
Yeah, good call. And they go for the Tiny down bottom. This is another great kill. They can kill the Tiny again. Only issue is Shrine, guys. You're near a shrine. Yeah, this is gonna happen. Of course this is gonna happen. Honestly, what was the plan here? Like, it was a good kill if he was not near the shrine. The TPs came immediately, and this time it wasn't a lack of information.
He's just running in like a beast.
Yes, he can. He wants to go for the Stormhammer, can't get it in time. They do start to stealing some... okay, this is really good, actually. They're stealing most of his damage. This can be a counter kill. Nature's Prophet actually bought back for this. Going for the Darkseer. The 1-2 punch. At least kill 2 of them. Surge very close, though. 4 seconds away. 3 seconds. 2. Can they kill him in time? Vacuum. Get the Surge off. Oh, the Surge. Oh, the Sprout, sorry. Oh, cancel that potential Surge. Who needs a Yules when you have a Sprout?
It's such a shame they were not able to have detection in time to cancel the Sven's blink. If they killed the Sven there, that would have been a massive kill. Even though the Sven is actually 1 and 3.
What? Oh, wow.
It doesn't feel like that.
No,
like
it doesn't.
He's this massive beast, but he's 1 and 3.
12 assists, I guess, you know. True support Sven. Maybe he was playing support Sven this whole time. We just didn't notice.
He's just playing in 2020, and we are just 2019 plebs.
That's true. Oh, they might find them.
No,
try.
No BKB on Sven.
Okay, Static Link as well. They're taking away all of his damage. They control him pretty nicely. Ato's actually working out very well this time. Disarmed, and there's a lot of damage going his way. How much will the Fast Promise heal? He blinks away. Boom! They kill the Sven, and it actually goes to Blizzard. The best possible person to get that kill.
And he's gonna have a basher now on Blizzard.
Yeah. They're gonna go for a free rush as well. Signify. Man, they're not out of this just yet.
There is a gold strength in BKB up now on the Sven. The reason they won the last fight is because those were not up.
Yep.
Blizzard has his BKB too. They're just running around each other. But Signify is on the high ground. This could be very good for them.
Oh no, that Oracle Force Staff! Was that an offensive Force Staff that they just did? They condemned himself completely! Tusk, meanwhile, and Jawa has the Heaven's Halberd. Does he actually get the Sven? He does! He disarmed the Sven for long enough. Saitama is actually getting kind of going for the support in the end, but not really sure what to go for. Blizzard with the BKB, man fighting him, realizes not the best option. They need something to stop the Sven. The stun finally comes in, the snowball as well. Tiny going in trying to kill Blizzard, gets the kill on Blizzard before Sven dies. Saitama dies to Swifty instead, and Swifty is the carry now. Rod of Atos to stop this Tiny, disarming him and killing him off in quick succession. Finding the Darkseer as well. Are on top. Can they cancel that TP? They have a way? No, they don't. Well, okay, who was the Force Staff for the Oracle? It was his own Force Staff, I think, to the high ground. Okay, that was terrible Force Staff. I don't know what was going through his mind to do that, but...
I mean, maybe he just panicked. It happens.
Yeah.
To the best of us.
I mean, obviously mistake happened to anyone. I do think it was a mistake. There's no explanation around it, so...
Maybe he thought like they were smoking from the other side and he had to get up the high ground.
Oh, they even killed
just
Darkseer.
suddenly appeared? I don't know.
Yeah, and he wasn't expecting them to all to be there right next to him. It could be. Trying to get vision with the Oracle. It's just Oracle's not the best hero to sacrifice yourself on. It should be the Tusk doing those kind of plays, right?
There is still action happening, even though Roche is being killed. Darkseer died and so did Nyx.
Yeah, Nyx died as a kind of a counter kill. I caught both, don't worry. Nyx died as a counter kill. Darkseer was the more important kill here, with the Nature's Prophet coming in with the Bloodthorn and just finishing him off.
So
that
now
was
they have
important.
50 seconds without Darkseer, 50 seconds without Sven.
They can force the buyback.
Does have a buyback,
yeah.
But Sven doesn't, and Sven is kind of the only damage.
Yep. This is the issue of playing 4 Protect 5 nowadays. It's just, they cancel your oh, sorry, 4 Protect 1, not 4 Protect 5. 4 Protect 1, where if they cancel your 1.
Team with 5, the guy.
That's how my pubs are, 4 Protect 5. Anyway, I'm gonna find this tower in the bottom lane. Done. The towers in the middle, or the racks in the middle lane. They took the melee ones, which are the important ones. They have Desolator on PA, which really helps. He actually went for the armor corruption as well. Yep. So those towers, or those hits, actually apply a ridiculous amount of minus armor, minus 11. And I believe we also have a... No, we don't have the Assault Crest yet on the Nature's Prophet. Actually, what did he go for? He went for BKB, didn't go for any other item after that. So he's still deciding on the Nullifier versus whatever.
I think they should get the AC on another hero. Maybe the
Razor?
PA, for instance. Like, Razor already has the Shivas.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're
so
right. You don't need double.
He doesn't really need more. But for PA, it's kind of nice to have that attack speed. Because you usually don't build any attack speed because you have the Phantom Strike. But at some point, like, you run out of viable damage items to buy. Like, he has a Deso, he has a Battle Fury, and he doesn't really need an MKB, so...
Okay, Shiva, Saitama, he's been Natos now. They do false promise him. Look how fast he is, but he's just fast by running away. He can't actually man fight in this time. Can he cancel his TP to have a snowball, a water sponge, something? No. The Oracle will make it back home. It was a good Ghost Scepter TP. They actually used the smoke there, but this is the second time this happens. Like, why do you use a smoke if you reveal it immediately?
I don't know. Yes, it's like one of those go, go, go. Oh, wait, actually, we can't. Kind of smokes.
Yeah. Actually reminds me a lot because this smoke was actually started like a long time ago. This Peruvian smoke, which is what they used to call it, because it was only played in SA, and you would win a team fight immediately, like move three steps back, just barely, so the particles wouldn't be seen. Then boom, go for a smoke and go play super aggressive. It was like a really high risk, high reward play back in the day. Now it's very common, and especially with the high ground usage. Smoke usage has really increased since then.
Okay, so No Chance does have the option to buy the Nullifier because his buyback is on cooldown for another 2 minutes, but he might just decide to farm the gold first because 2 minutes is not that long.
Play it safely. There's no use. I mean, there's no need for the Nullifier literally now, right? You can also always just delay the game for like in the next 2 minutes as well.
Yeah, they know they're ahead. There is not a lot of pressure on them because they scale better.
Find the Tiny.
Like, Tiny at this point even bought a 4-staff because he knows that he can't really kill people anymore. It's literally all on the Sven. That's why if they get the drain on the Sven, the fight is won. Like, no question about it.
Well, they're gonna find this tier 2 tower up in the top lane. Goodbye. And okay, just finishing off the outer towers. This means that they can actually go for the melee creep. Something that's quite important here because the Radiant don't have this option right now.
To be fair, they do have decent heroes for defending Megas, but there is a smoke coming out right now.
Oh, low to high ground smoke again. Vendetta. Okay, Sven goes in, gets the Tusk. Tusk is the bait, and they're like, oh, what's happening there, man? Let's run away. That was a very awkward initiation there, as Radiant just tries to run away. Kappa and another strikes. Mr. Crowley in trouble, but there's the buyback. They're planning on fighting this double damage PA. It's not the time to fight. They actually went right into the trap by accident. Blizzard is hoping to take advantage of that. They finally dispel it. Oh no, he still has it. Trying to kill Evil Ash. There it is. One crit. It was all his HP. Just got the crit a bit late. Meanwhile, they kill A35 and search for more. Darkseer the target. Just the first thing they got killed by the Sprout.
Actually not blind, but still nice.
Yeah, they had the ward there, but yeah, it was a really good Sprout anyway. Catching the Darkseer instead going for fail. They seem an easier target. Very nice usage there of the Atos. I think it was actually the Atos at the punch that canceled the TP. And with that, the Tusk or the Tiny is gone. That's a lot of your initiation potential, and your counter initiation potential completely decimated.
That was a beautiful blind Sprout with vision.
A blind Sprout with vision, yeah.
So Sven ulti for 35, how will they defend this? Nice blink away.
I don't think they can. Well, that snowball, Jesus, is suicidal. Vacuum him.
I feel like this
Tusk.
is
That was not
Classic
necessary.
Mr. Crowley. He just makes plays like this. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes you're wondering why he is dead in the fountain when your team is hitting tier 3s.
I'm very much enjoying watching Mr. Crowley though. It's been a very... I mean, he played the last game as well, and he kept going in. You're like, what are you doing? And then he forced that to safety by some miracle, and you go, oh my god, Mr. Crowley, you're a genius. Go to the next TI. So it was like a very confusing feeling.
I feel like you won't have an easy time if you're a Mr. Crowley fan.
No.
Your blood pressure is gonna go through the roof.
It's like eternal envy of India. Oh, we're gonna find 835. Careful, he's gonna be killed first. Swiftly has the cheese. Saitama's finding still the end. Beautiful sprout and a crit. Just one crit and Sven's gone. With a bash, they also catch his poor Darkseer. They even nullify him to the end. GG, well played. Calls ROG. It seems like, in the end, it was Signify who had the complete domination all along. Losing the Rex is part of the strategy. They were gonna win 2-0 the whole time.
Yeah, they had a tough time, partially because of the Razor build, partially because of the PA pick, but they pulled through. Even though the laning stage was rough, they just played the mid-game strategy accordingly and reaped the results of their labor.
Yeah, congratulations to Signify. Honestly, they make it to the finals in a pretty convincing run. Beating... I mean, they were the favorites coming in, and they show why they were the favorites. Really impressive playstyle by Signify. Creative drafts as well, pretty diverse, I would say. Even though they do favor certain heroes, you can see that they can do snowball, mid-game lineups. Late game is just not really meta right now, so I'm not surprised they didn't go for that. Congratulations, really, Signify. They very much deserve this victory, 2-0. That means that tomorrow we will be seeing the losers brackets, and losers brackets will contain, first of all, coming soon. It's a team name. It's not like a sponsor or a teaser. Coming soon versus LXG, and the winner of that game will go against ROG, and then finally the winner of that game will get to beat, or I'll try to beat Signify in the finals to see who gets to qualify as the Indian representative for the first time in history for an actual Dota 2 big major LAN. That this region gets some good and well-deserved representation. For now, we've been here in the ESL qualifiers. I don't know where you're watching us, but thank you for watching us anyway. Feel free to follow us on Twitch, like us on Facebook, and of course, subscribe on YouTube, I think. And we'll be back tomorrow at the same time with the losers brackets. My name's been Swordfish. I've been here with Wingblade Dota. It's been a pleasure. Follow us on Twitter if you enjoyed our cast. And until next time.